Good evening and welcome back to another episode of our talk show. I hope you're all doing good. As for us, we are doing very good. Thank you once again for tuning in. I am Amandine, your host, and I've got Octavia with me and I've got Henry on board as well to discuss another hot topic. Today's topic is entitled, Should You Be Staying with Your Partner Before or After Marriage? So let us know down below what you also think. As for me, let me find out what my panelists think about this topic. I'll start with Octavia. What do you think? Would you rather stay with your partner before or after marriage?
I think I'm on the fence with that one because there's pros and cons to both of them. So staying with your partner before marriage is like y'all share the bills and everything right now. Economic wise, it makes sense. But then again, a marriage certificate is basically free at home affairs. So why not go to home affairs, get married, and then live together? So it depends on the people. If y'all serious about life, I think get married and then live together. But you see, I think it makes guys lazy. If you're already living with them, then they have no real motivation to marry you, because what's going to make you take the next step if everything already seems like you're married?
Thank you, Octavia. Let me hear from Henry. What would you like to say?
I would say, first of all, two things involved. When it comes to love, I can say it's all depend on how you plan things, how you start your relationship, what can push you to stay together before the marriage, or what can you make as a plan to wait until the marriage, then you can start staying together. But on the other hand, I think especially as African, we always have our way of doing things that respectively it has to be after marriage according to the cultures and blah blah blah, and the religion also. So but if there is a situation that pushes someone that you should stay together, maybe to build together something or have a project together that will requires both of you to be together until you get married, it's all depends. So it's a tricky situation that can only be managed by first two people, and then after maybe the family is church and all that. That's what I can say.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay, so studies have said that it is actually good to stay together before marriage so that you get to learn each other's before you get to the most hardest part, which is marriage, which is forever until death to your part. So do you agree with that statement?
Yes, in a way, because you are going to get used to your partner. You're going to know your different habits. So if someone likes one side of the bed and the way the toilet paper is rolled or the way the toothpaste needs to be squeezed out, you're going to learn those things. But it can also happen when you're married, because now you know there's no escaping it. You have to actually come to compromising and doing all those marriage things. So it kind of puts you in a box to say they'll have to deal, as opposed to giving it the trial run, and then you're like, how long does it take? How long are you going to stick with someone to say, okay, are you going to give it 3 months? Are you going to give it 6 months to say, I can live with this person or I can't live with this person? What do you think?
Yeah, I do agree, but on the other side, I disagree, because also the advantage is when the two partners are both serious about that relationship. There's no cheating, or someone is trying just to play with the other part, or there's some benefits involved that become dangerous. Like I say, if we are both parts are serious about that relationship, I'm not seeing any problem. But if there's some interest there, then it's become a problem, because at the end, it's always gonna end in tears, which might affect another part, their future relationship, or the marriage, because it's not easy. Also, you stay with someone for maybe 6 months or 1 year, 2 years. It's not easy to get someone who trusts you, even if you are not the bad one, but to trust you that you have been in a relationship for 2 years, staying with someone, now you broke up or something happened, you have to jump into another relationship and start rebuilding again. That might be also a problem. But on the other hand, like she just said, it's good to know your partner deeply so that you know what you're dealing with once you are in the marriage. It might be also good.
So would you say that there is a time limit that you guys can stay together?
I can say...
Would you guys be staying together in the idea of one day getting married, like pushing towards it? Or for now, let us just be together and see if we are competent enough to get married?
That idea of saying, for now, let's just be together, I don't agree with that. It has to be, this is what we are starting. Let's try to make it work. And correct way we see like this one like this, that one doesn't like this. We meet up at one point wherever we see that now we are good to go. Then you can proceed the marriage.
Okay, Octavia, what do you think?
I agree with Henry.
What first makes you guys stay together?
Convenience. You know, it's like, okay, you love each other now. No one wants to go home. If you staying over at his house, it's like you start leaving things, you know. Then maybe you want to go from his house to work, so you bring some outfits. Then eventually you just like, you were never going back to your place. Or it's the other way around where he is always at your place. And again, he wants to leave there from work. Eventually, clothes start building up, and you find yourself like cohabitating without having even maybe spoken about it. So I think there has to be an understanding when you're starting a relationship to say, listen, are we going to... All relationships should actually, I think, be for the long term. So you want to end it up in marriage, and then you decide how long is it going to take and whose place are you going to stay in. And yeah, I think it starts with the convenience, because now you're in that lovey-dovey stage where you want to spend time with each other.
Are you sharing everything right now, or is there certain things that you're keeping for that time when you get to marriage?
Exactly, that's a good question. You want to keep some things for the marriage, like...
Let me hear from Henry, madam. I think it's the best place to answer us.
What's the question again?
Are you guys sharing everything right now?
In the relationship before?
Or are you
In
keeping
terms of,
some surprises for marriage?
Okay, first of all, if really you love each other and you are thinking of building something that will stay forever, there is no need for saying that, okay, this belongs to this one, that belongs to that one. Because, of course, when we get married, everything will be for both of us. So what I can say, like, we must always have like project together, stuff like savings and all that. Yes, I can keep my money, but it doesn't mean that that money that I have, once I'm staying with you, because we say we are sharing now, we are together, we have to share everything then. Why? Because at the end, if things goes wrong, one part should not feel like they were just being used. You get it? If we say like, okay, let's work towards maybe a certain project, it mustn't be like, okay, this one is the owner of this, and that one is the owner of that. What is that project is something that will help both of us to achieve our goal. So if we said, okay, let's say we are buying, for instance, a car for transportation. Okay, half will come for this one, the other half from that one. So we put that money together and we start that project. So what is left that is not for both of us? Of course, I'll have my own account. You have her own account, but there will be always something that we can we are working together to achieve our goal. That's it's ours.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's nothing to say that when we are together, we are together for everything, for life. Unless if we are not serious. Unless, like you said, some they are just there to test each other to see if this is the right person that I should be with in my life. But if you know and you love your partner, nothing would separate you, and nothing should be splitted, because you are already together. Because marriage is just approvement. The two parts or the two families come together to approve that this and this, they are officially married. But before marriage, if you are together and you are working together toward a certain goal, I think you are already married, even if it's not approved yet. What you'll be left is to be approved. So be serious and work together as a team so that you can succeed. Because if you are not facing in the same direction, then it's a problem.
Okay, let me hear from Octavia. Do you agree with him?
I do agree with him.
So you would stay with the guy before marriage?
I think now, knowing that I'm going to get married to him, I don't want to stay very long together, like cohabitate very long. I would want to have us establish how we're going to.
How long is not very long?
3 to 6 months. Because now you're planning your wedding. So y'all can stay together planning the wedding for 3 to 6 months. I think that's fair. Because now you're learning each other in the cohabitating. Yeah.
Okay. So you can do that. As long as it's towards the marriage.
As long as you can, like you said, there's a confirmation. Yes. As long as there's a family confirmation. So I think date separately, obviously, and then when it comes to, okay, I think I want to now make it official with you, I want family to confirm it, then you decide, okay, who's sleeping on which side of the bed, how are we doing this, how are we doing that, then you can establish those patterns.
Okay.
Because think about it, if one person snores, for example, you need to know that before you say your vows. Now you're going to bed and you're hearing the snores. You're not used to it, you know. You need to know, okay, no, my man sounds like a truck. And you have to deal knowing that you understand all the feet situation. You need to understand the habits, you know. I think so.
So if you know now that he snores like a truck,
you're gonna make accommodations. You're gonna have your earplugs or your soothing music. I don't know, depending on how much you love your man. You're gonna make accommodations. You're gonna make accommodations, I think. Yo, due to snoring, you can. You really can.
Okay. That's a good one. Henry, what would you like to say? Now that you said...
What I would like to add is that on the other side, it depends on the situations.
Do you think 3 to 6 months is ideal? Or do you, as long as you just know you'll be marrying this woman?
I can say that, like I say, it depends on the situations. Because once you are together now, you know my plans, I'll know your plans, then we have one plan. If something is delaying, you obviously know. Because I'll have to let you know that, okay, look here, I promise you in 1 month that I will do ABC. But the ABC, if it's failing, it's because of A, B, and C, you know. So, but, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Some people, they don't start staying together because they are planning to get married. There will be people, for instance, I'll ask you if, let's say you are boyfriend and girlfriend, you love each other. Of course, it happens that you get to have sex or something, and then someone get pregnant, then what will happen? Some cultures like where I came from, if I impregnate a girl, I have to take full responsibility, even if we are not married. You understand? So I have to take you in that period of time until you give birth, for instance, for example, and then we'll take it from there. Then we'll decide whether I'll marry you or not. You get it? So there is a situation that forces two parts to be together. And then if there is love involved, then you said 6 months, 3 to 6 months. The pregnancy will take 9 months for you to give birth. After you giving birth, now we start deciding. We are already on 9 months. What is your limit? Is 6 months. We have already exceeded. So after you give birth, it's now a matter of sitting down, both parts, both families. First of all, it's between the two. They must decide what they want. Are they ready to be in a relationship, like getting married? If not, then they find a way to split them. If they are ready, then they have to plan. Of course, there will be a baby, more responsibilities, and then you start working on how to get married, when to get married. It might even take you 2 years. Don't even be surprised. So the most important thing in that situation, I would say, is being honest, serious, and love your partner. It will still gonna lead to the marriage, no matter how long it will take.
I have a question for Henry about this now that she's just brought up. When do you think you know you're ready to marry a girl? Like, especially for guys, is it something you see her and you see your wife, or is it like it's going to take time? You understand what makes you approach a girl? Is it just intentions of tasting, like you said earlier? Or is it like, I see that she could be potentially my wife, let me get to know her?
How long does it take for someone to decide whether you want to marry that person? Trust me, it doesn't take longer than a month. Because if you want to tell me that I'll be trying to take my time and know my partner, trust me, someone can hide her bad habits for 5 years. Until one day when they achieve their goal, and then they show up their true colors, and then you'll be shocked after getting married to that person. So on the other hand, what matters is love between the two. Where there's love, I can take a week to decide whether I'm gonna marry you or not.
You've got the question that makes sense.
Okay. For me also, I would say, especially to ladies, never try to stay with someone before you get married. Because marriage, it must be a prize. Yeah. It's something that is so special. And also from your parents as well, they must know that they're now sending you to a man. What if you go in at first time, it doesn't work? You try again. So every time you'll be staying with different men. And in all those staying with men, you'll be like actually sleeping with them, you see. Which is supposed like you have to get married and then you start sleeping with someone. There's no way that you can stay with someone and then you don't sleep with the person. So I would say to girls, please try not to stay with a man before you get married. Let him learn you from, like, you staying from your side and he's staying there. You meet outside and what. It's fine that way. And it's also gonna.
Is it fine for every man?
Some
they feel it's better when they are together. Then they see your real color. They see who you really are.
Let me tell you something. Most of the men now, they push so much to bring someone very close to stay with someone just because they want to eat. Yeah, they want to before they okay, they don't want to do the real process whereby they have to wait. If you love someone, what pushes people to stay together is because of sex. Because if it was not for sex, then it's for money. So we're now making it a business and stuff that a man is now saving money, bringing you to stay with the man. You're now paying rent half, or you're doing something in the house. No. Ladies, they mustn't be allow men to use them.
I like the word use.
Yeah.
I like the word use.
Yes.
I think this is about staying together, not having sex. Why did I say that? Because you said yes, it's correct. Ladies, they must not just agree to everything, or to men who want them to stay together. But on the other hand, if your mind and if you respect each other, you don't just jump in a relationship for sex. You can stay together without having sex. Those are the rules that you set. Because if we said that, okay, we'll stay together, there will be no sex. If it happens that one forced the other to have sex or something, that's become a rape case. Because trust me, it's not everyone who stay for sex before marriage, especially if you respect God, you respect your parent, and you respect your partner. There will be rules that you should set before staying together.
If you respect your partner, you're not gonna even ask her to come stay with you before you marrying the person. There is a relationship that you can date with a girl, but when it comes to staying with someone, you're now creating marriage. Because why would you want to stay with someone's child without you getting married to the person? What if something happens that you guys are no longer together? She will count that as a marriage, because staying under the same bed, under the same room, sharing the same bed with a man it's marriage, boss. That's marriage. So if it doesn't work, you say you're not married, but you're staying together. We say no to that. Girls, stay at your father's place, at your mother's places until the man marries you. That's when you can guys stay together. And
That's what I asked. Okay.
I feel like we should just join
Good, there's more
Also have a
questions. What's
question.
Kuda now?
Okay, you can start.
Okay, Kuda, my question is, so let's say you have the marriage, you're with this man, it's not working out, he's asked you for a divorce. Now you don't have a place to go, you need to leave the house. What happens now? Because do you just go back to your family? What if your family's passed on? So you're living now by yourself. Do you still wait for a new marriage before you enter in another relationship, or what? Because life happens to people and they don't plan on stuff. So you could say, for example, you wanted that pitch perfect life where you get married and stuff. Now that marriage falls apart. Are you waiting again for another person to take you and marry you first and then take you home? Okay.
Okay, you know what happens most of the time is if you really know that you're now in marriage and relationship that we have is different. You sacrifice a lot in marriage because you know the process that this guy had to pay, or this guy is now like, well, no, he's known with my families and stuff. There are mistakes that you are forced to forgive him even if you don't want. But if it's a relationship now that you're just staying together, if he do something, you can easily say, you know what, you can just go. But you are married. Maybe we can say unsatisfied marriage. Because you are staying together. And that's the same thing that someone is doing, but he married, he paid the lobola and everything, you see. But you're doing it just to say you love your man. So I don't think it's wise, man, that way. I don't think it's wise. And
Okay, if I can just into that. Me, this is how I feel. I feel like this setup of staying together, yeah, it's good for these days. We can say that, but it's bad in a way that when something happens, there is someone who is at a disadvantage, and usually it's the lady, because us men, we can move as fast as Wi-Fi. You see, you can jump from one relationship to another, but for women, they have a mileage. You understand? It's the next person who's coming. Also, now they lose their value, because women, it's about value. You understand? So the next guy who's gonna come, you've been staying with someone for 2-3 years. The next guy who's coming, would you want him to marry you first before you stay with him? Now you see, the value is gone. So I feel like it has more to do with the lady, understand, than the men. Because us men, we want anything that is in front of us.
and we don't lose anything at that time. Remember, if it happens that we stay together, you get pregnant. It's -1 already on you. Remember, I can go out as a boy, even if you have my child there, and call you a baby mama. The next person that is gonna come to you is gonna find you with a child already. It's another value that you already like. You understand? So it's important, especially to girls, young ladies out there. Never try to stay with your boyfriend, and stop these sleepovers. They will lead you to stay 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, until it's like a small marriage.
All right, that is true. It's very true. But in this case now, we're trying to also advise people who are already in that kind of relationship. What? That marriage. I don't know. Yes. And also, the way you put it, culturally, when you go to religion, that's how it's supposed to be done. Amanda just mentioned that the studies has approved that it's good for people to stay together before marriage so that they can study each other and have a healthy relationship, if I may add. The problem is, one thing I'll tell you, the problem is you apparently mixing two things, staying together and having sex. Because what can mess up everything there, it's sex.
So Henry,
You can stay
with a woman
you can stay with your boyfriend or your partner in the same house but not in the same room. It's staying together. There are some parents and some cultures. Now let me give you an example. You as a man or a boyfriend or so, you can stay with your girlfriend in the house with your parents. Your girlfriend can stay in girl's room and you've got your boy's room. It's learning each other. You are not just learning your boyfriend, but you are also learning the family way that's taking you. Like the parent of your in-laws in general, your sister-in-law, your brother-in-laws, that's staying together because you have already left the roof of your parent and then you join that room. Let's exclude sex first and talk about staying together. Then the next question should come, is it fine to know your partner sex-wise before marriage? That's the question that you are answering to. Because right now, I'll tell you, there are people who are not staying together, but they are having sex almost every day. More than married people. And they are not staying together. So what's the difference between that person who's under their parents' roof, having sex with the boyfriend every week, and the person who's staying with his partner in the same roof?
The difference is, if you staying with someone, like special the same roof, and you're now part of the family, marriage is a family thing. So you already married. Even though you're not sleeping together, you already married. We're not talking about only sleeping with your man when you go and stay with him. You can go there, but even if you're not sleeping with him, you're already married. Sex is not the one that is bringing to marriage together. But this sex that you are actually like 24/7 with the person that you're not married to.
And what you were like always with some people.
Yeah, but now, no, listen, now we're talking about a relationship that is very close, that anytime I don't have any privacy now. You understand?
Yeah.
In a relationship, I can do my private thing and stuff that you don't have to know. Only my wife must know about that. But if you start to know about my privacy before we get married, so that is kind of tricky, man. You don't have to try that thing.
Your privacy can include maybe deals and stuff.
There's a lot happens, especially with the families.
Oh, okay.
There's a lot that happens, you see.
Okay.
The last thing that you have to know, especially for a lady, is to include my parents. If you really know that you don't want to stay with me and stuff, you don't want to get married to me, don't include my families. Because once you include my families in you, you will be forced again to do things that you don't want. That's why you end up like, we get married for the sake of other people, but me and you, we don't have any connection. But for the sake that one, the world will say, I was in his house for 6 years or 5 years and stuff. And what about my family? Your mother, they will say, you were staying with the man all the time.
You're not speaking more and you're off the camera. That's what I
Okay. So your parents, knowing that you're staying with a man, they don't know that you're not sleeping with a man. What would they think? They will say, our kid is married.
Okay, Kuda, thank you. We've got it. We've heard it from you. And I must say, I agree with what you just said right now.
Yeah.
But I just want to find out from you guys, especially from you as a lady.
Yes.
Do you call your man, let's say if you're in a relationship like that where you stay before marriage,
Yes.
how do you call your man? Because I've heard others calling them man husband, and then they will say wife, but then it is not yet certified that they're married. They're not yet married, but they're
Yeah.
looking towards it. Do you think it's already appropriate to call each other like that?
No, I think if you engage, so if he's given you a ring to say there's a date, babe, like we're going to get married, then you fiancés, but you can't be calling each other out of turn when you haven't certified with an actual document. The government knows about it, like your parents know about it, then you can't just be saying hubby, hubby when you haven't gotten married. There's people that's waiting for like 5-10 years for that ring, for that validation, for that certification that they married. And I think that's the problem, because they went home to stay with a partner. There's always maybe an excuse on why you aren't getting married. And certain cultures, there's a better regulation on marriage, which is really nice, like the lobola system and things. Sometimes we don't have, like in our colored culture, not a lot of us practice it, if I can say that, where it's not enforced the way it should be, where it would be liked. There's a whole lot of instances where you just dating someone and that dating becomes prolonged, and then you even get children out of this marriage covenant, And I think the government now has also said if you were someone, I think it's more than 3 to 5 years, they consider you married. Because when you break up now, how do you separate everything? You were talking about buying a car together. Do we sell the car now after the breakup so that everybody recoups their monies, So then if you stay very long with someone without getting married, you also incur so many responsibilities. So I think with this day and age, it's unlikely, because I don't even know if marriage is a thing anymore, especially in the youth that we have. Like, I don't know how many people are still getting married these days. I'm sure it's still enough, like popular enough, but it's still not like it used to be.
The percentage has dropped a lot.
It has. So with the amount of choices guys have and the fact that you can tap out like Wi-Fi, it's difficult that, you know, for girls to actually secure marriage. Yeah.
I just want to answer to what you said. From what I know, I don't know if it's true. Once you stay with a lady for more than 6 months, by law, you're already married to that person. By law, you are already married.
Which law?
Which law?
Yeah, we of which country? Because
I think.
Yeah, in my country,
I think even here, when
Back
someone
home it's like
sue
that.
you after 6 months of staying together, I think you have to pay that, especially women. You have to pay her. You have stayed 6 months with them, you are married. I think so.
From our country, we call it chaya mapoto.
What's that?
You can go for 2 years.
Yes.
Staying with someone.
Yes.
Without getting married.
Okay.
You can go.
they even passed a bill
Yeah.
that it is no longer required, you know, for you to be married. It's no longer a must
It's not a
for
must.
you to marry someone.
Because they've seen that our kids there at home, they no longer have value. They're not worth it now to pay.
Oh, is that?
Yeah, we get girls for free.
Okay.
The president checked the
So-
streets and say,
So now they depend on the countries. But as African, going back to our cultures, as Africans, staying together, it's a no go area.
there we go.
As African,
There we go.
right? But on the other hand, what our parents used to do when they like a girl, they would take that girl and put under their roof. They can stay with that girl for some time, study the lady. The lady must work for the house. They must do that lady must do duties that she will be performing in her own house with the husband. All that, except of course sleeping together with their kids, because it's not allowed before marriage. Yeah, but the rest it was allowed. That's why I mentioned, say that it's not all about sex that it's being a target that can mess up. Of course, the most thing that can mess up a lady, it's sex. Because even if someone marry you after you are coming from this other man or something, if that person found you virgin, they're still gonna respect you, because you haven't lost any value. Trust me, that's why I say it's not all about sex.
But sex is number one.
Sex is number one.
Because, you know, according to my understanding, this is my understanding.
Yes.
You know why people they tend to stay together? You know why people they tend to stay together? This is how I've been seeing it, you know, from the streets. Now you think you are coming on weekends, you understand? You're sleeping together on weekends. Then you begin to think, okay, so if I'm having this nice time on weekends, it means we are staying together, we're going to be enjoying this every day. You understand? So it will be a lie. You understand? Of course, there are certain people, there are few people. You understand? It will be a lie to say people they stay together because they were planning to build something. No, number one is sex.
But I think that is a relationship with a bad intention. Because if a relationship is built based on the sex, then it's a problem. Because one day one part can wake up and not be able to give you sex. What will happen? There will be no more relationship. There are diseases, there are this that can stop someone from having sex.
That's why you see.
So that's why I was saying the most important thing in the relationship is love. And when you love someone, you can have that, you can reserve yourself, you can hold yourself until you do the right things that is needed to make everyone proud and to make yourself to be respected by even two families. So love matters. Sex comes second.
But only few people.
Only few people. Especially in this world. Because the problem is us men.
I was just gonna say that, like, you guys have the power because you have the manipulation tactics to get girls and to get what you want from them, and you decide, like you said, the value of a girl. So again, if she was married and the marriage failed, let's say the partner was stepping out and maybe even abusing her, or things just didn't work out, the relationship dissolved. Now she has a child. Then you as a man seeing a wife in her again, because she still has the practices of a good woman. Do you understand? It doesn't, just because now you have a child, you can still retain your values as a woman. And you see her and you say, this is a potential wife for me. You still wait until you marry her to consummate her marriage and then to have the second child, right? And then if you decide her value or the training that she needs for her to be good enough to get married, for example, the girl syndrome that the president's deciding to slack now, isn't it the father's responsibility to keep his daughter pristine for when he hands her over to the next guy? So wouldn't you say that it's fathers that's lost their responsibilities in keeping the sanctity or the girls valuable?
You see that, special from us, it's not a. It's a choice that was given to people to say, okay, we now understand that people, they now like staying together without paying lobola, or some of them they can't afford to stay with people just because they don't have money. Yeah. But now it's open that if you want to stay with, I want to stay with you, I don't have money. It's still gonna be fine. It's still gonna be called marriage. You understand? But at first it was supposed to, I have to pay money for me to get the cultural way. You understand? But now we're no longer doing that. There is a lot of reasons why we're not doing that. One of the reasons is girls, they no longer have that value. Yeah.
What happened to the value? Where?
Okay, a boy.
How did they lose the value?
Exactly.
The thing
A
is,
boy takes her out of a plastic, break, out of a
the
pristine.
thing is, like what I was saying, men are like minors, So what we do is, when we see that there's a place, there's a girl, you understand, you go and you say, okay, I'll come to you and say, if we stay together, we're going to be serving, we're going to be doing this. But my real intentions, we're talking about the 70% probability man that does that. They'll be like, you know what, if we stay together, we're going to be serving, we're going to be doing this. But the real reason behind that thought is they want to mind the girl. Understand? And when the girl, you know what miners do? When the mine is done, when there's no gold anymore, understand, they move to the next one. Understand? And the mine become a dumping area.
So who do we blame now?
I don't think you are talking about a man. I think you are talking about a player. Yes, there are players outside there. Because honestly,
Henry, how do we differentiate now from which one is which?
That's why there must be someone who's honest. No, wait. Can I put my point? If you are a man, you feel like you are mature enough, you want to become a responsible person in your life. You can just mind her and then throw her and jump to the next person. Of course, if you say, I'm now grown up, I want to build my own family, it means that you are matured and you are responsible enough. You should now do the right thing. Getting married is doing the right thing. You are in the process. I don't think you enjoy messing up the process because of sex, I think you should be responsible enough and be a man that you want to become in future. Yes. So if you are talking about you play with this one and then because they have sex and then
we're saying for the no people that are staying together before marriage.
Before marriage.
Yes. If you look into many cases,
Yes.
how they end up,
That
they always end up in tears.
yes. Mostly it's players.
And who's crying the most? Understand?
It's ladies. It's ladies
It's
because
us.
they've lost their value. That's why one thing I would say, it's my advice to girls.
Yes.
Staying with a man or not staying with a man, don't just give. Then you are a winner.
Okay.
Well, a man, especially a man with a dirty mind, if they don't get what they were chasing, they will end up getting married. So don't give before marriage.
Well, advising them, remember you're talking to the girls that they actually coming from school,
Yes.
and some of them they are on their early 20s and stuff.
Mhm.
They still have like peer pressure and stuff. So when you tell them that they can go and stay with a man, but they mustn't give, you're not giving them a good advice. Because a man will always find a way of getting it. So the most thing that you can do to them is
Yeah.
abstain, even don't stay with a man.
Only you are.
You'll be tempted. No. You'll be tempted.
That's-
Only you are allowed.
That's the thing. So guys feel you have the power to control how you see a girl. Exactly. So first you'll come through, you'll lie and manipulate and take and mine.
That's us.
And then at the same time you're telling us don't open the mind. Do you understand? But you're still gonna find girls who are going to let you in. So you're gonna have fun and then you're going to go look for a closed mind. Do you understand how abusive that is? It's so wrong because you're trying to, every woman is a wife. Let's consider that. Every single girl out there is a wife. No, whether she does the wifely duties, let's just consider if all of you guys can marry, it makes you a husband, right? So you want to have other people's wives before you get your wife, and you want your wife to be sealed. That is a selfish concept. You know, because you're going to take your chances. You're going to see, will she let me in? Will she let me in? Will she let me in? And then you're still going to want someone who hasn't let anybody in. That is very unfair.
But when it comes to that, you must remember also that not all women they're meant for marriages. Women, they like I would say like cows. There are some cows that are good to keep for meat and milk and stuff, and then there's some cows that they just slaughter for
Octavia,
meat.
are we supposed to be
It's-
offended?
no.
right now?
Let me say. Let me say.
How do you compare us with cows?
Yes.
Could I explain yourself
Okay.
very clearly?
I'm trying to say. Let me tell you. If you go out here in the streets, you look at the girls, you see that this one
He's a cow.
is just there. It's for people to. It's just for meat.
But is it
Peop-
supposed to be like that?
It's not supposed to be like that. But girls, they now push themselves to that extent that even today you talk about marriage,
Yes.
you'll be talking nonsense to her. She don't want to hear that. There are girls that now they told themselves that no to marriage. What I can do is I can offer you services that people in who are married they get, but I'll not want to stay for marriage. Yeah. Even in the Bible, it's like that.
Do you think maybe they've been into a lot of breakups?
You see, not all women's they're meant to be married. Not all of them.
I would say that it was supposed to be like all women were meant for marriage. Unfortunately, there are men who are players, some men that are players that are leading some ladies to that kind of a situation.
Okay,
Because,
why would you think it's only men who tend?
You play with a girl that you've got no intention to marry, or that you are seeing that she's there to she's there to give the service that you say that the married people are giving, so and so. That girl, she was not like that before, until a man came to play with her, impregnate her, until another one came, until she get to the point of saying, to the extent of saying that men are not serious, so I can't do marriage anymore. Let me rather be alone. And because they also have feelings, they're not just they that some they come to give J. No, some they are being led by us men that plays with them and drop them and make them lose their values. Now there's no a real man who can stand and want them because players have passed
You
them.
know how they lose their value? Most of the time is when they agree a man to stay with them without getting married.
How about those
So when they lose
those
their
who
value,
never
even
stay?
themselves,
Yes.
they won't look at themselves as women. They will be like, we no longer have the value, we no longer are on the same line with other women because I've stayed with a man, it didn't work out. I went to stay with another guy, it didn't work out. So
Can I ask you a
then
question?
go to marriage.
Do you think or do you believe that all these women that has got 3, 4, 5 kids, they all stayed in a man's roof, have those kids and live, or there are those
This one is a mind.
that are getting pregnant from their parents
Okay.
by men players out there?
No. Check. If it happens once, second time that you get a child at first time, you get a child a second time, we can understand that. But if you see yourself having 5 kids and you don't have marriage, and those 5 kids they're from different fathers, you're not meant for marriage.
Don't you think 2 is already good enough? that
You're not meant for marriage.
you
My
haven't been
sister,
too serious?
my sister, while others they praying for marriage, pray for money. Your marriage is no longer there. You understand? You can't be a place where people they just come and have some like self-value.
Do you agree that they are there? Women like that?
Women like that.
Can I just ask a last question? Because we're about to wrap up now.
Right.
I want to just say right now, do we all now try to understand that women and men should be educated in a different way, or should they be being educated the same way, so that when they grow up, no one takes advantage of each other as they become adults?
Okay.
Should they be like educated in appropriate way? Because nowadays, girls are more educated. Don't do this, walk like this, sit like this, eat like this. But then men, they're like free actually. They don't do any chores, they don't do anything, and then they feel like we're allowed to do anything, we are free.
Okay, I would say it's fine. Like it's more important when girls they get more educated than men, so that when I come and try to manipulate you, you will see that okay, this one is a liar. Whatever he's saying, there is no true out of it. and stuff.
Kuda, why don't you also
So-
tell my son not to go around manipulating young girls?
You know, as men we are hunters.
So we just need to teach ourselves to not get hunted every day. Just out in the wild.
No.
Don't get hunted there. Let them come and speak to the father. or
Tell the
mother.
girls the truth that my girl, my child, you're only gonna stay with a man when you get married. That's a very important education thing that we can give to girls out there. Because once they stay with a man, it's over. Men, they will find a way. No matter how dour the man is, but he's gonna find a way.
Okay, thank you, Kuda. Let me hear from Henry. What would you like to say? Do you agree with what Kuda said?
I agree.
You've got
but
a
at
daughter
the
right
same-
now. You have a daughter.
At the same time, I disagree.
Okay.
Because, trust me,
Speak as a father.
if you look at it,
Speak from a father's perspective.
Father's perspective.
yes, if you look at it, there are so many divorce cases in the world. Somewhere, somehow, it's because people they didn't take time to know each other. Besides staying together, people they didn't take time to know each other. to understand and agree with themselves that this is what I want in the life. Then you find married after 1 year, 2 years, it's gone. There are so many cases, and it hurts a lot. Someone that was already married and ends the marriage, for them to recover and get into another relationship, especially for ladies, like he says, us men, we are like very fast like Wi-Fi, can just boom and then you forget and gone. Because we don't lose value as much as women lose their values. So what I'll say is, for men, let's try to be responsible enough, and let's stop playing with women. When you want married, you must mean it, and you must be responsible enough, and you must understand what you want.
Would you say
because
that men,
we've got also sisters and cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
The same thing that I can do to someone's child, there will be another man who can do it to my sister. So the feeling won't be nice. So the person that should pull more ears is a man.
Okay. Thank you.
We must advise more a man to do the right thing.
Thank you.
And then women.
Thank you.
Women also. Because women, they are, first of all, they are weak. Not weak as weak. I mean to say they are
Emotional.
easy to get. Because a man can lie. Trust me. A man can lie.
Thank you, Henry.
A
Let's
man
hear from
can
Octavia.
convince.
I agree
We've
with you
got
100%.
that power.
Men
So,
can lie.
us as men, let's try to think straight whenever that we are involving in a relationship. Let's not be involving ourselves in a relationship with bad intention. Intention of being a player, or intention of just go mine and then drop. It's
Thank
not
you.
a
Let me
good
hear
thing.
from Octavia. We
If
about to
you
wrap
are
up.
taking someone's girls with a good
30
intention,
seconds, Henry.
okay. If you are taking a man with someone's child with a good intention, I'm not seeing any problem. But if there's a bad intention or intention of interest and drop, then it's a problem. You rather correct your ways, because God also is watching us. We need to get respect and blessings from our parent as well. So it's gonna be fine if everyone is doing the right thing.
Okay. Thank you.
That's what I can say.
Okay, so what I've learned tonight is that men are hunting liars and we have to protect ourselves by any means necessary. And girls need to be safe out there, because now you have to choose someone, and I suppose pray for the best, because at the same time it takes a lot to make a marriage work. So for a man, there's so much responsibility on how you can keep your woman happy in that marriage, how she can keep you happy in that marriage. And after that, if it does fall apart, then it, as you said, it gets harder to reestablish another relationship that would be good. But we should stop playing with each other outside. Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Octavia. Thank you, Henry, for joining us today. We've reached the end of our today's episode. We have all agreed that it's not good to stay with a partner before marriage. It comes with a lot of disadvantages, which makes a woman actually lose the value and their dignity. Okay, so let us know what you think right down below in the comment section, and we'll be back right here at the right time. Until next time, peace out.